All right. Good afternoon to those of you on the East Coast. Good morning to those of you on the West Coast. Welcome to This Week in Pop Culture, the show in which we give you the goings on in the past said week in the world of pop culture, whether we're talking about local news, film and TV news, tech news, sports news, and the like. We try to bring you up to speed so that way you are not left in the wind. I'm your host, Brandon Troy, co-creator of Movers and Shakers Unlimited. And as always, I'm not going to be alone in talking about the said topics this past said week. So without further ado, I want to welcome my co-host, Mr. Spillman Trueheart, a.k.a. Spills. What's going on, sir? Hold on, you just
Love is in
muted
the air, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Valentine's Day, Junior, or you know, or
post Valentine's
or
Day.
or as some people call it, the side chick day. The 15th is the side chick day. I
Hey,
feel like that's if you got a date
hey,
today,
go ahead.
the schedule was not
Hey, go
making it
ahead.
work yesterday for you,
Go
even though
ahead.
it was a Saturday. Don't nobody work on Saturday, but love to you
Oh
guys out
boy.
there, listeners. I love you, listeners. But if Sunday was your day for Valentine's Day celebrations, it's still a day. So who knows? It's still
Oh man.
Saturday somewhere, on Mars or something. I don't know.
For sure, for sure.
Hmm.
Spills, we had quite a bit happen this past week. Of course, chief of which being NBA All-Star Weekend. You know, we always like to get into our NBA here on This Week in Pop Culture. So be sure to stick around as towards the tail end of the show, we'll get into some of the festivities that have happened thus far. Of course, we have the All-Star game that's happening later on tonight, but there were some things that happened on Friday and Saturday, so we will recap those things. But there were a couple other things that happened as well. Whether we're talking about the passing of an icon, some gaming news, as well as some film and TV news. So without further ado, Spills, shall we dive in?
And let's get it.
All right, excellent, excellent, excellent. So with that, we're going to get into our first story. And as always, I'll always give you guys a reminder that efforts will be made after the live airing of this show to timestamp the stories accordingly, so that way you can skip forward or go backwards to those said stories discussed on the show today to your heart's content. So keep that in mind. With that, though, we're going to start this week's show with our Legacies Remembered segment. As I mentioned just moments ago, that we had the passing of an icon this past week, and known as the character Dawson on the series Dawson's Creek, or as the quarterback Vox in the film Varsity Blues, actor James Van Der Beek passed on Wednesday after a battle with colon cancer. Spills, your thoughts? Passed away at the age of 48, which in this day and age is really young. Your thoughts on the iconic actor's passing?
All right, I'm going to say it right here in the immortal words from Varsity Blues. I don't want your life. I can't say enough about James Van Der Beek. My sister and I used to love to watch his show Dawson's Creek. We loved Varsity Blues. The scene where they got that teacher fired for having that job that she shouldn't have had while being a teacher. Crazy. The whole I feel like we don't sing the praises of Varsity Blues like we should. Varsity Blues is part of the reason why we have things like Friday Night Lights. Um, James Van Der Beek was a great Holly WB. He's the WB. I think he was the WB. I don't think it was the CW by then, but he was part of the WB taking that next level.
That era,
Dawson's
yeah, that
Creek.
era of
It
series and
took it
stuff.
to it went mainstream with Dawson's Creek. I don't think that there was a show. It was the closest thing you could say to Dawson's Creek was probably something from a different era or a later era. So like 90210 is kind of up there with those kind of shows where it was like it for youth dramas, it's top tier. I don't I can't say anything bad about Dawson's Creek, but really sad to see him go. You know, the Big C got James Van Der Beek. He was a great acting legend, and we loved him. Like you see the Varsity Blues right here, ladies and gentlemen. That's just brings back so much nostalgia. How did you feel about James Van Der Beek's career and his legacy?
So similarly, and then let me make the correction too. I know I was saying Vox. I had the other entity on my mind, but Mox I meant to say. But with that, similar, same. I second a lot of the things that you said when we're talking about that era. When we're thinking of the small screen and a lot of the shows that were around at that time, we're talking about a crazy era where we had a lot of iconic shows. I mean, you had that show, you had what is it, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Angel. They were
Hmm.
shows around that time that were around, that particular era. When we're talking about Dawson's Creek, and Dawson's Creek is right up there. I wasn't a hardcore fan, but I was aware of the show. I would say I was a bit more inclined with Varsity Blues, just because of the sports angle. And of course, just as you quoted, very iconic line. When we're just talking about that era, that generation of not just of what he did on a small screen and on the big screen, incredibly iconic. As I said, it's unfortunate to have passed at the age of 48. When we're talking about, we talk about this all the time, Spills, when we're talking about the uh, the advances in science that we have. 48 is a young age to pass away.
Extremely young.
So you know, condolences to his family and friends. I know there have been some posts from friends of his that are in the industry that that will miss him, of course. Obviously outside of his family, and there have been some nice gestures that have been done. I don't know if you've been keeping track of them doing a GoFundMe, and I know if memory serves, I believe Steven Spielberg did a huge donation with his GoFundMe to be able to help support his family. So again, incredible legacy in terms of what he's done on a small and big screen. And as I said, incredibly young to pass away at 48. That's not too far from, I don't want to scare
Hey, 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 hey,
from either
hey,
one of us. So, so
hey. That's just two
yeah,
presidential terms, ladies
I
and
know,
gentlemen. It's
I
not
know,
very far
I
away at
know.
all.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So again, condolences to his family and friends. But yes, Vanderbeek passing away this past week at the age of 48. So we're gonna move on to some video game news, and let us know your thoughts. You can let us down below in the comments what your favorite project from Vanderbeek was. Um, or are there projects that you are shift more towards than others? Yeah, I would be interested because I know a lot of times when we're just talking about a lot of actors who have a expansive body of work in terms of what they've done, um, that are iconic, you may get a different answer across the board with various people. You may not get the same answer, so that's always interesting. But with that, as I said, we're going to jump into some video games, some gaming news. As an iconic character now appears to have his game on the PS5. What iconic character do I speak of? Of course, the Baba Yaga, Mr. John Wick. It was shared this past week that he has a game coming to the PS5, and this was revealed on Thursday from Saber Interactive, who made the announcement that the arrival of a John Wick game would be coming, and they announced it in the form of a game trailer. Revealed to have a story created in collaboration with the team at Saber Interactive, Chad Stahelski, who, for those of you that are not aware, is the director of the film franchise, as well as Lionsgate. The game will feature an original gameplay narrative that addresses a significant time in John Wick's life, featuring well known and iconic characters, as well as compelling new characters specifically created for the game. As of right now, no official date or official title for this John Wick game has been set. So, Spills, are you excited for the Baba Yaga getting a game on the PS5?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the Baba Yaga is one of the greatest movie protagonists ever. This is why PlayStation is better than Xbox, ladies and gentlemen. Xbox is probably not going to get this game for like 6 years or something silly like that. The fact that John Wick, I'd love to see the game mechanics. I want to fight Boban. Is Boban going to be in the game? You think Boban to be in the game? That'd be really cool. Ip Man was in the fourth one. Is he gonna be in this game? But we gotta get to John Wick 4, the game, because I feel like that's how we doing things today in media. They're not just gonna give you the whole shebang and just say this is just the John Wick universe. They gonna maybe give us just one or one and two. But I'm very interested in it. This is up there with Wolverine. I feel like I'm gonna buy both of these games, Wolverine and John Wick, so that I could, slice people up and then hit them with the gung fu. Um, how do you feel about it? Are you a big fan of this coming to the PlayStation 5?
I mean, I'm just excited that we're actually getting a John Wick game. I mean, I feel
Hmm.
like a lot of times, we joke about it here all the time of being a PlayStation person or being an Xbox person, but
That's right.
for a John Wick game, I would be willing to play to get a PlayStation 4 just to be able to play the John Wick game. Now, uh, I don't know if they're going to. I know for right now they're saying that it's going to be a PS5 game, but maybe later on down the line, because as I said, we don't have a set time of a release. Maybe down the line they'll expand it to be a multi console release. If so, then I will stick with my Xbox. But for the Baba Yaga, I'd be willing to at least get a PlayStation 4 just to be able to do that game, because that franchise, that action franchise, is incredible. And to have not only uh, to be able to bring it in a gaming format, but to also have a lot of the folks behind what made the film franchise so iconic, having them work with you on the game, because that sometimes that happens and sometimes that doesn't happen. Sometimes you have a third party that kind of takes on IP on their own, and don't get me wrong, every once in a while it works, but it's a good decision to bring on the same folks that are doing the film, so that way you can still get the same aesthetic, and they can still kind of help foster a lot of the same elements that you would expect out of that universe. So incredibly excited about this game. I'm looking forward to us finally getting some more information as it pertains to a release, and perhaps because the trailer that we saw uh, included a lot of like cinematics, but not necessarily a lot of specific gameplay. So I'll be looking forward to us actually getting some footage of actual gameplay and seeing how that works and how that operates. But yeah, still at the end of the day, incredibly excited. If it is PlayStation only, I will be willing to get a PlayStation just to be able to play that game. And it's
Ladies and
not
gentlemen,
like
I'm a be a good friend, and we're busy men. When it comes out, I might even let you use my PlayStation, so you don't have to come out the pocket.
nah, you don't gotta do
I'll
that,
say
bro.
you can hold my sticks, just so you can see what it's like.
What?
Yeah.
So I don't know about that. I appreciate the gesture, sir, but
I
in
mean,
my
PlayStation
experience,
5 is so expensive. To buy a whole
it
video game
is.
system to play
It
one game,
is.
that's pretty crazy.
It is. It
That
is.
that's
I will give you that.
admirable.
But I'm saying, like, I know PlayStation has other features. I know it allows you, just like with the Xbox, to get download additional games and things like that with the store. So I mean, of course, I'm going to use it more than just that one game. I'm just saying that it's enough for me to be able to
Oh yeah, for
buy the
sure.
system. Um, so what are your guys' thoughts out there? Do you think that it's not a great move for us to be getting a John Wick game? Do you think that we should just keep it on a big screen? You can let us down below. I, for one, would love the opportunity to be able to, take on that moniker of John Wick and pretend as if I'm John Wick and as just like you have in the movies, and to be able to move and operate like John Wick in the game. So I don't know. That's just me. But as I said, let us know down below your thoughts on that. With that, we're going to move on to some film and TV talk. So, and talking about what we had as some big screen news, it was reported in an exclusive from Deadline on Tuesday that writer director Mike Flanagan would be doing a new adaptation of Stephen King's The Mist. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the novella, it's basically a story in which we have a small town in Maine that is consumed by a thick, mysterious fog from which creatures emerge to attack the townsfolk. As a result, a group of survivors holed up in a local grocery store engage in anarchy and societal reordering as the situation brings out the best in some and the absolute worst in others, sparking mob mentality and empowering unhinged extremists to become as dangerous as the horrors outside. Originated in the King short story collection Skeleton Crew, the novella has been previously adapted, of course, into a 2007 film and later into a 2017 TV series. As of right now, according to the article, no release date has been set. So, Spills, are you looking forward to yet another adaptation of The Mist?
No, I'm not looking forward to this at all, ladies and gentlemen. Didn't nobody see that last Miss movie? Although, although it does have one of the all-time great um
WTF endings, yeah.
WTF. Not no no no. I wasn't even gonna say that. WTF face memes
Oh, yeah.
of Mark Wahlberg being confused. People love to use that on the internet. I think that that is the best thing that came out of that movie. Could
Are
they
you
make
talking
it
about The Happening or The Mist?
The Mist?
Okay, because
Isn't
The
Mark
Mist,
Wahlberg in the 2007 one?
no, you're thinking of Thomas Jane. Thomas Jane was in The Mist.
Oh,
So The Punisher, yeah, Mark Wahlberg. If I think if you're thinking of that film, you may be thinking of what is it?
The
The M Night
Happening.
Shyamalan, The Happening, where like you have
Ah,
like the vegetation and things. But this was the one where you have a Thomas Jane. You have a lot of like Walking Dead alums in it because it was done by Frank Darabont, the 2007 one.
even more reason why I'm not looking forward to this movie because I don't even know who was in the first movie. Because who cares about The Mist? Like Stephen King has enough money, ladies and gentlemen. Why are y'all buying his crazy books? Like this is like The Mist is one of those mid 70s Stephen King on a rager type books. Um, I love the Stephen King canon. He's got a lot of great ones. You know, obviously it, Charlene,
The Stand.
uh, The Stand. I don't know if The Stand is up there. You know, Misery. There's tons of great ones that Stephen King has got. The Mist, I don't think is one of them. I get that Stephen King has got gold all through his catalog, and they don't pay people to write movies no more. But to have a movie like The Mist, which was not the most well-performing movie in 2007, it got a TV series. I didn't know that it even had a TV series. Could correct like that today years old, ladies and gentlemen. But you know, I'll see this when it gets on Netflix. I'm not going to be checking nobody's theater unless, of course, you know, I have to cover it for this humble program. I will, you know, of course, go to the theater and buy lots of popcorn and ham it up real big. But I don't, you know, I'm not thinking about this. I don't know if you are. How do you feel about The Mist?
So I have the 2007 one on DVD, and it's like one of my favorite film adaptations that have been done. And I think that's not just a testament to Frank Darabont, who directed it, but also to a lot of the actors that you have in it. I mean, you have Thomas Jane. As I said, you have a crap ton of Walking Dead alums, and that's just because Frank Darabont, for those of you that don't know, did the first season of Walking Dead and got that show like up and running. So like you have Laurie Holden, you have Jeffrey DeMunn. I'm trying to think of some other ones that we have in there. Melissa McBride, who's an OG from The Walking Dead, and then shout out to good friend Bill Sadler, who's also in there. Also, incredible film. A lot of crazy thing, wild things that happen, you know, in that film, and some of it is because of the crazy happenings that happen with the creatures that appear, but a lot of it actually the more insane things actually happen, as I mentioned at the top when I was describing, as a result of the situation and how because of extreme situations, a lot of time that can foster a lot of extreme behavior out of people that are trying to survive and how they're going to react to the situation. So that was a larger testament too of that film and that adaptation, and then to have it end in the way that it did. I know it's been, like I said, 2007, so that's nearly 20 years ago. I
Too
don't want to
soon.
spoil it here. I don't want to spoil it here. You guys got to check it out for that WTF ending that they have at the end of that film. Um, really dark ending of what happens there, and then how heartbreaking it is of what you find out later. You know, just moments later after that said event happens, which is pretty wild. And I remember seeing it in the theaters, and how there was like a massive gasp, you know, across the entire audience when they were experiencing that ending. So like I said, it's one of my favorite adaptations that have been done. Um, to your credit of talking about the series, I do remember the series too. The series only lasted 4 seasons. It was supposed to get additional seasons, and it only lasted for the one, unfortunately. Uh, I still enjoy the film better. I mean, there are some nice elements of the series, but I still don't feel like it holds up to that 2007 film. When we're talking about Mike Flanagan, if most of the time I would be pretty skeptical when it comes to doing another adaptation of something that has already been done more than once. But when we're talking about Mike Flanagan has an incredible track record when we're talking about all types of films as well as series. If we're talking about, let's see, the Haunting of Hill House, that series that he had
Mhm.
on Netflix, that was his. When we're talking about the Fall of the House of Usher, another one of his. I mean, there's so many incredible ones. What is it? Doctor Sleep. I want to say it's Doctor Sleep. It's the
Doctor
sequel
Sleep, the sequel to Shining. He did
to
that
The
one.
Shining. Yeah, he did
That
Doctor
was
Sleep.
that was horrifying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He did Doctor Sleep. So when it comes to horror films, he's an incredible storyteller, being able to work within that genre. And then another one that I can't believe I forgot was I want to say it's called Black Sunday, or where we have like this use of vampirism that's used, kind of incorporated into the religion or the theology of Christianity, which was really wild. And I believe like I said, I want to say that it's no, not it's called I want to say Black Mass. What was the name of the series? But you guys should check that out. That's also on Netflix. But yeah, and then we also have him doing the Clayface film. He's actually working on that Clayface film that we're getting for DC. So when we're talking about the horror genre, there are few out there that I trust to be able to take on that genre and to do it effectively. And he's one of the few people that storytellers that we have as a writer and as a filmmaker who is well up to task to be able to take that on. So I'll be interested to see what his take looks like, and how he's going to approach that said story. Because as I said, it was already done effectively in that 2007 adaptation. So I really don't feel like there's a need to do one. But if you do, can't find better hands than Flanagan. So let us know in the comments for you guys out there if you guys are excited about Mike Flanagan taking on the Mist and doing his adaptation of that said story. Are there some elements or calling cards that he has in terms of how he approaches his said projects that you're interested to see how he's going to have that translate to the Mist? You can let us know down below. But that's going to do it for what we have with our film and TV talk. Now we're going to get into our main topic story of talking some sports. And there were quite a few things to be able to dive into. So just to cover what we had this past said week for the Sports Cooler segment. Beginning on Monday, Monumental Sports and Entertainment provided a first look at the Halo, which is a new space being brought to the Capital One Arena that will seat nearly 4,500 venue guests with a broader range of seating, clubs, and social experiences for season ticket holders, select ticket tiers, small groups, and suite owners. The Halo is included in Monumental Sports and Entertainment's $800 million transformation for Capital One Arena. This summer, Monumental Sports and Entertainment will unveil the full scope of Capital One Arena's transformation, including additional new seating experiences, fan amenities, technology enhancements, and hospitality offerings across all levels of the building. Elsewhere on Thursday, LBJ, aka LeBron James, added another impressive notch on his resume by scoring a triple-double in a home win against the Dallas Mavericks with 28 points, 10 rebounds, and 12 dimes. While scoring a triple-double is not unheard of for James, this occasion was history-making as he did so at the age of 41, making him the oldest player on record to do so. Lastly, Friday saw the beginning of NBA All-Star Weekend as the Rising Stars game and Celebrity Game kicked off the weekend with Team Vince taking Team Melo in the finals, with rookie VJ Edgecombe taking MVP honors. Later, Team Giannis defeated Team Anthony in the Celebrity Game as actor Rome Flynn took home honors for a second year in a row. Saturday would also see a repeat winner as Dame Time Lillard won his third three-point shootout contest, while Team Knicks would win the Shooting Stars Challenge and Kashad Johnson would win his first win in a quite underwhelming slam dunk contest in this year's All-Star Weekend. Now, the All-Star Game wraps up All-Star Weekend tonight at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on NBC and Peacock, complete with a brand new format, which will feature the U.S. versus the world. So, Spills, a lot to talk there. Your thoughts on the addition coming to the Capital One Arena, LeBron making history, and the NBA All-Star Weekend festivities thus far?
Well, I guess we can start. Let's start with the Capital One. I think it's amazing that Ted Leonis actually got some people to play, and now he found some money to pay for that stadium. This time last year, when he couldn't even get like people to buy cereal and get a ticket to that game, would they come and see that game? So I think that, if you invest in your product, you can sell your product. So good for Ted. But don't think we don't remember that you were trying to move the team to Virginia as if people were going to go to Virginia instead of downtown to see people who were not good. It was not where the games are located because people go to the Capitals games. You see them all the time. Shame on
No
Ted
matter how
Leonis.
far out of Virginia folks are, how far in Maryland, Virginia, they will come downtown to watch the
They
Caps play.
come to watch the Caps play because the
If the
Caps are
team is
good.
good, the people will come.
If you
If
build
the
it,
team
they
is
will
good, the
come. That's
people will
right.
come.
You got to get good players. So to me, for Ted to have this, good for Ted, bully for Ted, but come on, Ted, you should have been did this. Like I heard, we've been hearing, I've been hearing that D'Angelo Russell's not going to report. So for the Wizards faithful, that's nothing new. People love stealing from y'all, but this is great. I think that they need to upgrade that stadium.
Yeah, that
It's
arena's been
old
around
enough to
for a
be Unk.
while.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
an Unk arena, even though it doesn't feel like it because we were around when it came and it still feels kind of new.
yeah. I
That's a
think I
dirty old
was.
stadium.
Yeah, I think I
It
was
was like
just.
'98.
Yeah, a little later than that. I feel like it was like 99 because it was like right around the time that we got our All-Star, not that far from when we got our All-Star weekend.
No, I think it was earlier than that because I remember they had the white and blue jerseys in '98. I think.
You're right. You're right. So
I
yeah, I
think.
want to say it was like like what, middle school for me. I at least
Yeah.
remember that how around what time in school I was.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
So it's amazing that that's a long time, because like it doesn't feel like a long time because we lived it. But when we were here in the '90s, when we hear about stadiums from the '70s, you'd be like, oh yeah, that's an old stadium, they need to get rid of that stadium. But now here we are, that's an old stadium, they need to get rid of that stadium. But I think it's been a successful stadium if they actually put players in, because people will go to those games. It's lots of transportation. It's the number two subway in the country. It's easy to get to by train, plane, and automobile. So to me, it's time. Then I'm gonna move on to the GOAT, LeBron James. I'm just happy that LeBron is the GOAT. To have a triple, it was not a 30-point triple double, but it's a 30-point triple double. He had 28. That's a free throw or a missed layup. That's 30
You see what
points.
he's doing here, y'all? He's trying
That's
trying to
30
shade.
points. It
He's trying to move the
Brandon's told
goalposts
me
and make it
Brandon's told
30
me he
points.
had 30
He's trying to
before,
change
and
history
he
to
had
make it 30
26.
points. He's not satisfied with it just being a 20-point triple double. He has
It
to
was
try to shade
28
it
though.
extra.
28, 28.
Come on, man. It wasn't 30
That's
though.
not that's
It's a
close
triple
enough.
double. It's incredible. But I'm
Yeah.
like we not rounding up here. We're not rounding.
We might as well. LeBron has got
We're
so
not
many
doing
that
that right there.
who cares? Who cares? But he's the GOAT, clearly. Michael
Uh,
Jordan wasn't getting no triple doubles with 30 points at this age at all. He was too busy chucking um in like eighth place, fighting for
wow.
not making the playoffs.
Wow.
But yeah, I'm excited to see that LeBron is still the GOAT. He gives old guys like us a chance to be cool. Um and then All-Star weekend has kind of been abysmal. I haven't liked what I've seen from it. The stadium looked pretty empty on Saturday, but I think they just need to get back to East versus West, like trying to make it that we got these bozos over here and these guys and these guys. That's not making it interesting. They just need to play. If it's East versus West, I think it'll be better. I don't like gimmicks for these kind of things. Just make it, what it is. How do you feel about it?
I mean, so I'll address the LeBron James component of it. Incredible, incredible that we had a triple double and that is 28 points. However, I will say that Jordan did record some triple doubles. He wasn't 41. I will give you
He was
that.
not 41. He was retired by then. He got
Yeah,
mad and drove out of
I
here.
will
He
give you
drove
that.
out of that
I will give you
MCI
that.
Center. He drove out with his top down. I've seen the video. He was
I
not
will
playing
give
no
you that.
more.
I will give you
He
that.
took
But I
his
was
ball and
saying
go home. He
in that
went home like
Wizards
he's want to do. That's what Michael
in
does.
that
He gets
Wizards
sad and
area
leaves.
in that Wizards era that a lot of people don't want to count or credit, he was still doing his thing. He did record triple doubles in that time as well. So I just want to make that point. But again, at 41, that is insane. That's unheard of. I still give props, and we joke about it all the time here. But LeBron is an incredible, player, iconic player, legendary player, and again, is nothing wrong with being number two. He's always going to be two all time for me, and that's saying something because we have a whole bunch of other incredible players that could be marked in that territory. Whether we're talking about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, whether we're talking about Wilt Chamberlain, I have LeBron at number two. So think about that, folks. As much as Phil tries to give me a hard time about that, as many as we have all these other incredible players that have won multiple titles, I have LeBron at number two. And not Wilt or what is it Magic or any of those players who are all incredible players in their own right and are right up there as top 5, top 10 players. So incredible that he was able to do it at the age of 41. Don't know how much longer we'll have him with us, but just to be able to appreciate what he's still able to do at 41 is pretty wild. Now, in talking about NBA All-Star Weekend, there weren't really that many surprises. I'm not gonna lie, I was really disappointed with the slam dunk contest. We've had way better slam dunk competitions the
Bring back
national.
all stars to the slam dunk contest. That's what they need
Please,
to do.
please, 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 please. And there's no slight against the players that we have that are second string, third string players. Please put some all stars in the slam dunk competition. Like,
You know who could save it? You know who could save it?
well,
LeBron James, if he actually went and joined the slam
hey,
dunk contest.
hey, when if they ever did, I don't know if you know that story, that $1 million story that
Yeah.
Vince Carter tells. For those of you not aware, that they want to have Vince Carter, Kobe Bryant, Tracy McGrady, and LeBron James. Man, that would have been
That would have been
insane.
amazing. It would have been
That would have been
amazing.
insane. So I don't know. Maybe this is an opportunity for your boy. What's his name? Who we were just talking about a couple of weeks ago. That's kind of needs to get his act together. This might be something to kind of get him back. I feel
Ja
like
Morant. Ja should
John
have been in
Morant.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To get him back into, because I feel like in terms of where he stands with fans, he's not in a good place. But I feel like if you put him in a slam dunk competition, I feel like he could get a lot of that back, and people remembering just how crazy talented he is as a player, and crazy athletic he is as a player. So, Ja, if you listen to this, I don't know if you watch our show.
He's a fan. He texted me.
assume that
He
you
hits me
do,
on Instagram. He said, "Hold me
I
down."
assume that you watch our show, but if the word gets out, you need to be in a slam dunk competition. I feel like that would be a good momentum, of yourself as a player, and continue to show people, just how uber talented you are. So please enter the slam dunk competition next year. They need to bring back some other players too. Like, I don't know why Aaron Gordon hasn't come back. I guess he's kind of pissed off of losing out to
They robbed
Zach
him. They
LaVine.
robbed him.
They did rob him. I'm not gonna
They
lie.
robbed him. They
Those were
did, but they
some
didn't. No, but
that year, man. The Zach
that
LaVine
was
and
that was that was like 88. That was like 88. But like Zach Levine, the
what do
windmiller,
you mean 88? That was like a
it was
couple of
like
years ago.
88. No, I said it
Oh,
was
okay.
like
Oh,
88.
okay.
And
I
that it
thought
was
you were saying
Jordan.
literally it was
It
80.
was it
Okay.
was it was two dunkers that were like right at the peak of their powers going head to
Neck
head.
and neck.
And
Yeah.
it was two different styles because Zach Levine obviously is a much more finesse dunker. He was throwing it through his legs from the free throw line. I see how he won. That is an incredible skill to have. But for
But I mean, there have been some
Aaron
incredible
Gordon,
years. Like we've had.
he
I'm
was
trying
like
to
this.
think
His
of.
feet were like this jumping over that mascot. That's like one of the most amazing dunks I've ever seen in my life. I couldn't do
I
that.
mean, the years that we had with what is it with Jason Richardson with
Mm,
I'm brain farting from the Clippers. Help me out here. Uh, from
not
Lob
Baron
City.
Davis.
No, not Baron Davis. From Lob City.
Blake Griffin.
Blake Griffin,
Yeah,
jumping over the car, like
yeah,
Stoudemire and Nash of him, hitting the
yeah,
ball off his head because he's a soccer player, using
yeah.
his soccer skills to actually help pass the ball to Amari Stoudemire. Like even Superman, Dwight Howard, like
Yeah.
those are some crazy slam dunk contests, and like to have it amount to what we got, and this is, like I said, it's no slight to the players, but like bring back some all stars for the
Yeah.
slam dunk contest, because
Yeah, I feel
this
like
year was pitiful. It was
it got
pitiful.
bad once we started letting no offense to him, but once we started letting Matt McClung play in the All Star game in the dunk
Did you see
contest.
the dunks that he posted that we could
I
have
don't
had in the
care.
slam dunk
No,
contest,
I don't care. I don't care. He's not good
bro?
enough to be in the NBA. I don't care about people like I can show you tons of people on Instagram and YouTube who do all kinds of crazy dunks. We need to see people who will do those dunks against real life competition, possibly in games. That's what Michael Jordan sold.
I'm
That's how
sorry.
Kobe sold. That's how sadly LeBron is doing it, but he didn't
I'm
do it
sorry. You
all
talk about Mac
dunk contest.
McClung, but we have some players that are in the league right now that he should be in replacement of. So like
I don't know about all that.
I feel like he can
Oh no,
provide
ladies and
some.
gentlemen. Oh no, ladies and gentlemen.
It ain't no oh
Are you
no.
talking about who I think you talking about?
Who you think I'm
Don't do
talking
that.
about? Junior?
Ladies and gentlemen, that's
Junior?
crazy. Come on,
He's
man.
better than
Don't do
Junior. I'm
Junior.
sorry.
He's not
He's
better than
better.
Junior.
He is. He's
He's
better
not
than
better
Junior.
than Junior. If he was better than Junior, he'd be in the league. He's had every single chance. He's had way more chances than most people.
No, I'm telling you this. The only reason why it's been happening this way is teams have been using him. They've been doing him dirty just to be able to say that
Oh,
they're in the slam dunk contest. They've been given, if you notice, every single time he has a two-way contract, a lot of times it happens during All-Star weekend so they can have him represent the team and only to put him back down to the developmental league. And I'm looking at, I mean, there's some teams here, Spills, like you cannot tell me that he could not be a role player for one of those teams. I'm sorry. He's not a well, your friend Junior, has he led the developmental league in scoring?
yeah. He was killing it when he was in the developmental league. He was
A couple
averaging
of
like
games. I'm
25.
talking about the entire season,
Well, he was
not a
bouncing up and
couple of
down.
games.
He was playing Laker games. He was too busy helping us win games. But
Help, you hear this, y'all? Helping y'all win games.
that's right.
What
Uh
games was he helping y'all win?
he got a block and then a 3-pointer the other day. It was very impressive. He looked like his father. It
You
was
see this,
incredible.
America? You see this? You see this?
But
You see
no,
this, y'all?
I don't believe in Matt McClung because he was playing in Georgetown and couldn't make the big dance. I feel like if you are good enough to
But
play
it
in
was
the
that
NBA,
team because
I don't believe that.
when he transferred to Texas Tech, it was night and day.
I They didn't make the playoff. Did they make the NCAA's? I don't think so either. To me, if you are NBA talent and I put you on any college team, you are one more NBA player than that other team has. You should be able to go to at least the big dance. I don't think that we are, mistaken in that. I like Matt McGlung. I like the Matt McGlung movies. What he know about playing in the NBA? He don't know nothing about playing in the NBA. That's not, his moves are cool. He does cool dunks. His body is small, so it looks even more impressive and stuff, but those are gimmicks. He's not that good, ladies and gentlemen. We need to get all stars in these guys like him. If LeBron did it this year as his last time, maybe he could do it next year as his last time in the league. Saying, y'all, I'm bringing this back. Y'all told me I couldn't dunk, but I've dunked on everybody, including your mama. I'm gonna show y'all some of my old man dunks that are still better than the dunks that these youngsters are doing and stuff. That would be incredible. I think that Anthony Edwards needs to be in the All Star in the dunk contest.
That we agree. That we agree.
Ja Morant needs to be in the dunk contest. Who's that boy at the dunk? We had the dunk that he dunked on the whole team, but he's not an All Star, so I can't even say him. Who else is an All Star that should be in it? I want to see Wemby be in the dunk contest. Wemby
Okay,
might could dunk it from the 3-point line. What if Wemby
okay,
dunk it from the 3-point line? That
okay.
would be
You
something.
know that's not
But
going to happen
oh
though.
yeah, I mean it's not.
Out of all the players that we just mentioned, there's too much wrapped up in him as a player for that franchise for them to allow him to do that.
But I
I
feel
can't.
like they let him go to Shaolin and train with the Wu Tang Clan. Why can't he be in a dunk contest? You don't think one of them Shaolin monks will break his arm?
For the same reason that your boy
Yeah,
fell on his head
yeah,
this year.
yeah,
For the same
yeah.
reason that your boy in this year's contest fell on his head.
Well, he's a silly guy. Um, that's okay. But that's why we got DeAndre, so he don't have to play too many minutes because it was Shackton out there. But still, I think if we could get those four guys: LeBron, Ja Morant, Anthony Edwards, and Victor Wembanyama. Maybe even throw in the Greek Freak. I'd like to see the Greek Freak
Oh no, well
in a dunk
VJ. We were
contest.
just talking about rising stars. Put VJ in
Yeah.
there. Put VJ in there. Because he has bunnies. He can jump. So but what about you guys out there? Maybe you guys have been enjoying the All-Star weekend. I know thus far I'm gonna act real. I'm gonna be the buzzkill and act like your boy from the Knicks. And they were asking, so how are things going? I'm not having a fun time right now. I'm not
Yeah.
having a fun time. I was like, wow, buzzkill, but I get it, man. Not having a fun time. Like Saturday is normally like one of the biggest nights to look forward to between the 3-point contest and a slam dunk contest. The 3-point contest was more exciting than a slam dunk contest, and that is crazy to say. Because normally that slam dunk contest is supposed to cap off that entire Saturday night, and it's supposed to be like a teaser or a warm up for the anticipation of the All-Star game on Sunday. So yeah, so disappointed this year. I hope they are able to find a way to revamp that and to be more exclusive in terms of selecting the participants for that. Indeed. But what are your thoughts on, and talking about the All-Star game that we're having tonight? I know you said that you wish we get back to East and West. I
I don't
mean,
know who's really playing. It doesn't make sense to me. It's like, they have the fan vote, but then they get the teams and mix them up and make random teams. That doesn't make any sense. That just have it be East versus West. All the other major sports leagues do either East versus West or conference versus conference, AFC, NFC. Um, American League, National League. They do East and West still in the hockey. I just don't. I get that they're trying to promote these bigger stars that are European stars, but or internationals. I get that the internationals are the thing of the day, and they're trying to play that up, but it cheapens it. I feel like they need to have a real all-star game and stop letting them score like 189 points or something silly like that when nobody's playing defense. Just play the game. Play a real pickup game. Somebody get dunked on. Like have the Sean Taylor, rest in peace to the God, the Sean Taylor all-star mentality. We're going 100% in this all-star game. I don't care.
well, here's the
Uh
thing.
yeah.
I think it goes back to, and I mean, I know it's been mentioned by a lot of folks that have that talk about the game, whether they are commentators or even former players that have become commentators. I feel like it all goes back to the figureheads that you have for the league. You know, as
Oh
much as
Lord.
whether we're
Oh
talking about
Lord.
LeBron James,
Oh
hold
Lord.
on, hold on. I'm gonna keep going. Whether we're talking about LeBron James, whether we're talking about Steph Curry, whether we're talking about the Greek Freak, those figureheads that we have that are in the league and have been the face of the league for a decade plus years. A lot of stars and a lot of other players look to their example, and if they don't again care, and I'm again probably just remixing something that they have discussed, but I will second it, is if those figureheads are not really setting the example of having the game matter or caring about the game, then it's going to follow suit down the line with all the other players as well. So, to Kobe's credit, rest in peace to Kobe, late Kobe Bryant. Obviously, you don't need to play at 100% like you would in the regular season, and of course, more importantly, in the postseason. But provide some effort so that way, those that are paying the money that allows you to have the incredible salaries that you have can enjoy the game. Um, Obviously, as I said, you're not going to be able to play 100%, but have some effort and care a bit about those things that the fans that play a hand in you having a living that you have are able to enjoy it. Because the whole point of the All-Star game is to be able to kind of dream of this one game where all of these incredible players, the best players in the world, arguably, are going head to head. Because growing up, you always have those arguments. What if this player matched up with this player? What would that look like? And this is the one time out of the entire season that you're able to have that dream become a reality, and to not really get an idea of what those matchups would be like, because the players don't really care and they're just basically become layup lines. And yeah, like I feel like that is at the crux of what the problem is. And trying to, I salute them for trying to come up with all these creative ways to have the games matter or to incentivize players to be able to do so. But at the end of the day, I feel like it just comes down to there has to be players who are the veterans among the superstars, so to speak, that set the example to set the example that the games matter. Point blank. In my
Okay. Yeah, for sure. Speaking of the games mattering, how do you feel about that little brawl that the Pistons had a couple of days ago? We
I
didn't talk about it
mean,
on the pod, but
yeah, we
it
didn't. We
wasn't a
didn't.
real it wasn't a real basketball fight for sure. There's no real basketball fights,
I'm
but
sorry. Nothing is going to top that Indiana. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
well,
Nothing's
I,
going to top that Indiana fight.
that was too
That
far.
Pacers
That's
fight.
like,
Like, I'm sorry. Like,
yeah.
I know a lot of people are making a big deal out of it. And don't get me wrong. It's never great to see, players setting an example like that of behaving that way. But in terms of how bad it got, nowhere near how it got in that Pacers brawl, where you had players going up into the stands and like getting into it with like it got bad, y'all. It got real bad. So I don't think that will ever get topped, and hopefully it doesn't, because you never wanted to get
Yeah,
that
I feel like
extreme.
if it gets any more higher, then firearms will be involved or something.
Like hopefully it never does. But I'm sorry, like in comparison to that level of craziness, yeah, I still feel like, as much as people are making a big deal out of it, that it doesn't come in even close to a comparison to that. So, but that's going to do it for this week in pop culture. Really do appreciate you guys sticking around with us. Let us know in the comments, if you guys are excited about today's game, considering what we got in the Friday festivities of the All-Star break, and Saturday, just yesterday, what we got for NBA All-Star weekend. Hopefully they're able to finish strong with the game that we have tonight. We'll see. We'll see if the new format incentivizes the players to to produce a better game, more entertaining game. But we'll see. Only time will tell. I'm gonna punt over to Spills as always. Spills, can you tell folks where they can find you?
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you can find me on Instagram.com. I apologize to all the people who are celebrating the Valentine's Day today. I'm not really serious. If that's what your situation is, that's not my business. But I'm gonna kick it back over to you, Brandon.
Fair deal. I'm your host, Brandon Choi, co-creator of Movers and Shakers Unlimited. You can find me at Brandon Choi ENT on X, and then of course Brandon Choi _ENT on IG. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Be safe out there, and see y'all soon.